Yes, Harold Kaija. The other issue you hinted at, you had a number of strikes for you to get in Parliament, where you wanted the Kampala central seat. Now you're shifting trends to Nansana municipality. I had a thinking and feeling that you had made your gospel had reached very many people in Kampala. How have you changed the strike, the trend now to go to Nansana municipality?
True, my message, my brand has not only moved to Kampala, but all over the country and all over the world, because my message is not a local message, it's a national message. I talk about issues that concern the people. Even though people having issues with me, those I would campaign with, but you see, you don't talk about, your message is up there. I said, yes, that's where I belong. You want me to talk about these small trenches, talk about those small markets? No, I want people to be big. I left Kampala because strategically I was advised that my personality, my persona is not in line with the Kampala Central. People would say I am not a Muyai enough. So they want you to be like this, and that's not kind of me.
Does Kampala require a Muyai to run Tanzania?
Yes, that's what they do, and you would see the kind of people who see us do politics here, and the people, that's why, inside the ghettos and the like, they want to speak that language, lie to people, do this, just pretend to be like them, and I'm not a pretender. And then, as a person who grew up in Nansana, went to school there, I taught in schools in Nansana, about 4 of them. I have some small things in Nansana, and people know me in Nansana. And by the way, many of my supporters in Kampala, actually residents and voters in Nansana, you would reach on the election day and you call someone, tell them, I am on the voting booth. Where? At the church. Which church? St. Joseph's Nansana. So all along, this guy does not vote in Kampala. So then there is a lot of vote rigging in Kampala, and the voter turnover. Many people keep shifting. They keep shifting. Areas where people used to stay, you find they have been demolished, and the arcades. So where you had 100 voters, even the people working there don't vote. They vote in Mukono, they vote in Masaka, they vote in Wakiso. So strategically, when I got people who consulted me, and prior to supposed to contest in Nansana some time back, but the events, the person that we are trying to follow was the late Dr. Israel Sebunya, who was a PhD holder, who used to say he has 6 degrees in his bedroom, on his bed. And there was a professor, Senteza Kajubi, people of that profile. Now he dies. He died as at university. The nature of by-elections, he couldn't enter. Then eventually his son was, as Uganda, they always vote the son of the child of the dead. Then eventually, then I start preparing myself. Then I come to Kampala. Along the way I want to come, then the current MP comes, and he's rigid. When they go to court decides that instead of a by-election, the NRMP goes straight to Parliament. So there was anger in the population. The last time I couldn't go there, because I knew there would be the kind of an emotional vote, a sympathy vote for somebody who was unfairly removed that a person, if you had been given a chance of going to a by-election, that would be okay. So we keep quiet. So eventually, some opinion leaders sit and say, no, it's the time. There are no emotions. There are no sympathies. I think the people would be more objective. We started preparing for this time.
Where are you going to Nansana? There are a number of people who have come up. Actually, Nansana is one of the constituencies that at least by now, as of today, has the highest number of people contesting for an MP seat. And amongst them, we also have journalists, well-known journalists. Now why don't you think that you have to have an engagement or a meeting among all the contestants in this municipality? But this one kind of Samang is too.
For me, I would be fine with it. Very fine with it. Who wanted us to talk, we would talk and float our credentials. I'll tell them, if you want to be an MP, you need to be a person holding a senior C certificate. I have more than enough. I parade my 4 degrees and a diploma in education, which I used to teach some of those kids around some of the secondary schools in Nansana. I'll tell them I have been here for the last 25 years doing politics. So I have more experience than any of the persons contesting in this election. And nobody is a kid. Tell us you've done. Operation Against Life Presidency, Walk to Work, FOC. I have done the search for many MPs. I have been on international forums speaking for the oppressed, putting the government in check. Many people recognize me, even others think I'm a former MP. They are MPs. A huge lot, could be even about 400. Who, if they ask among of you who is MP, people will think I am the MP. Because even some issues, opinions that are brought up, have been opinions that are picked up. My opinion about the NSSF money was picked and even became a working document by those who were writing that policy. My opinion about OTT, I pen an opinion about the infrastructure being inflated and how they have not addressed the economy that actually caused inflation in this economy. I've been picked. I've been able to debate with the best in this country, ministers, and challenge them. And they've considered. I think among them, nobody has had the biggest platforms. There is no platform in this country that speaks about politics that have not been invited. None, unless it's not a serious platform, or where I've refused to be. I've been interviewed by the BBC 3 times. So that tells you, I am not a somebody. I am a serious contender. There is no serious politician who I have not engaged with. I have moved around this country 10 times. There is no district where I have not slept. So I know the issues of this country on my feet. There is no serious politician who doesn't know me. Because if you go to Parliament, you must be at the level of national level. For you to push what benefits your constituency, you must be able to articulate issues of others so that when you bring your issue, they support you. And in Parliament, people of my profession are very few. And where my people are interested in is where the budgeting is, the appropriation of responsibility of Parliament, is where Uganda sit. Today we have a budget, we have 700,000 people in Nansana. They have a budget of 17 billion. Yet, Tororo district, of a population of 630, have a budget of 32 billion.
This one is a municipality, the other one is a district.
Yes, we are talking about population. What does the district work for? Then make us a district. Because we are able to collect local revenue of 10 billion. The guys in Tororo, 900 million. So, who should be? Where should the money go? So, to be able to balance the boat, because I will attitude to those issues, and being able to see those things, they're not just black and white. You must be able, that is analysis. And we went to school to have that, where I have 2 master's degrees dealing in that.
Kaija, you're good in economics. Other candidates like Zambaali are good journalists.
Are good in what?
National television.
Yes, and are good in what? We are talking about Parliament.
Monitoring issues.
Like where?
There's been a journalist on NBS.
He has been a moderator. In actual sense, would be an MC, giving people the microphone to speak. He has not been an investigative journalist. If you had been one, then you say fine. If you're talking about the Semujus, if you're talking about the Chibazo, if you're talking about the Sam Kaziwe, if you're talking about the Sam Mwangusha, if you're talking about my friend, Serwaniko, not everybody can be that. Because if you're a news anchor, what is written is what you read. The moment you get out, even if you ask them what was in the news, they've forgotten. They only read what was given to them. If you're a moderator, yes, if you're not a moderator, you only ask, you speak, go and speak. It's like being an MC. We are talking about analysis. Analysis. And that's where some of us are. Those I hear speak about me, they know where they put me. I compete with the best.
If it is not you, who would you second?
It would be sad for that municipality. Because I've been profiling, everybody was interested. Because we are only interested for the personal benefits, but not for the nature of work. If you understand what Parliament does vis-a-vis who they are, I've told you my entry point. Because when I come, you know, sure, even before I know, they say, no, Kaija, you must sit on what? On the Committee of National Economy. Because they know, even if I don't need to lobby. People lobby to sit there, just to be members.
But they don't have the books and
Yes, you need the skills. You must have the skills. That benefits the country and your constituency. My friend Chivumbi has been able to lobby to have a road in this what? As he's lobbying for the roads of the country, but we also have a road. As the lobbies for the schools, they say, but no, they put money on schools. I need money for this school. If they lobby for hospitals, say there's going to be hospital. So you are able, because that is where the real chopping is done. The abuta. In Uganda, where they would call it the rufura. Yeah, so before they come now to the plenary, serious work has been done there. I first speak for others. When I know, I'm bringing mine. Say, you must put money on roads. Seriously, we need roads. Yes. After achieving that, I said, this man is put roads. Now, which roads? As they list them, if I bring mine, I say, but this is the man who said they put money on roads. Why do we deny him a road? We must put money, more money in hospitals. We need ambulances. Now they say they are buying 10 ambulances, and I say Nabwero Hospital doesn't have an ambulance. Will they say they want to give me an ambulance? If I say we must put money in water, people need clean water, then I say they agree. Then I say I have a division, Busukuma. For more than 25 years, no money has been spent on their water. Those people need water. They will say, I think you're right. But I said, no, in these cities, we need roadside lights. Because a city or a town, people must work 24/7. They say, yes, you've said the argument. Said, but you see, if you went to Nansana municipality, by 10 p.m., people are going back home. They'll put money there. So you position yourself. And being a person who has been here writing manifesto, doing critiques, because although my main two issues are what are the economy and climate change. But understanding the economy gives me knowledge to understand all sectors, because we know where there is money and where to put money. And I want to represent a municipality which needs money. And actually, by asking the guy, you have helped me. I was trying to see how I compare with Tororo. You can't give Tororo, with the population there in Nansana, 32 billion. And then we have 17.
As you are winding up, what are the challenges of Nansana municipality as we speak?
I have told you. The issue of water, the issue of electricity these days, load shedding is high. The issue of unemployment is huge. Young people have been talking about the unfair taxation, where you find a guy tells you, I have a business of selling music, which is about 500,000 capital. He has to pay 170,000 license compared to a person who's having up to 30 million. The issue of garbage management, which means serious investment in. There is the issue of, now I told you, the issue of these public lights, social street lights. That's a major issue. I see that you find most areas by 10 p.m., 8 p.m., we go to Sokoma. Even 8 p.m., they're telling them that you're in a municipality, everybody's running home. When you say it's a town and you want the economy to work, you must light those roads. And in fact, the roads connected, because if you fix the roads in Nansana, you reduce the jam. The jam is scary. Many people want to run away from the road because of the road in Nansana. And that is caused by the little monies. I've told you, 700 people, and they have a budget of 17 billion. And the other ones, who are 600, they have 32 billion. That mathematics is where I want to fix. We have factories around Kawanda Matuga, but the people working there are not youth from Nansana. There isn't a policy of forcing them that when you're affecting the environment through pollution, you must benefit. First, through social corporate responsibility in those factories, like helping improve schools. I didn't talk about the issue of poor health sector in terms of the hospitals, public hospitals, Nabwero Hospital, the health center in Usukuma. Very, very poor state. Yet with that population and the poverty levels of our people, that is where we must put our focus. The primary schools can no longer compete. Public primary schools. Those I thought that we could even use the rich guys, investors who are in the area, to be able to manage like books, screen master, even to put even some top up for the teachers who work in those schools, so that the parents in those areas, poor people, feel that the rich think about them. That is how you bridge the gap between the rich and the poor.
You've spent some good years in politics, and you've already said you have been mentored by the best.
Yes.
And among them you said Honorable Kazar BSJ,
Retired Colonel Dr. Kazar BSJ.
Had a session with
his wife, Winnie Byanyima, Salam Musumba, John Kazora, Honorable Afro Gutu, his my media supervisor, Honorable Zindana, General Mugisha Muntu, Triple A Alaso. I call her my mama. All of them, you know, the Dr. Chigundu. So you are making from the best. That even if you are full, even picking 1% from them, you would look a super person when you get out there.
Now, you rubbing shoulders with these people automatically means you had a session with the late Kazora. What does the country lost in Kazora who have just currently listened in
Kazora, the loss in who Kazora was is summarized in the book Betrayed by My Leader. Kazora, you may need to speak to Honorable Salam Musumba, who worked closely with him in Parliament, the 6th and 7th Parliament, where they started what they call the YPA, where the young Turks, brilliant young Turks who had joined Parliament and had the supervision of the big Turks, where the then Speaker Wapa, they had the Bat Katurebi, who was former Chief Justice. They had in that Parliament, they had the Okelo, they had the Benny Wacha, Okule Park, Agura Wori. So they were also following the best. Very articulate person, very straightforward person. One time he saved my life when they had put a charge of murder on us, murdering a police officer called Arion, that we had stoned him to death, yet he had been shot. He ran and went to the mortuary to check the body, and Simu came out and said, but he doesn't know, as a soldier, he doesn't know a stone that hits one side of the head and then creates a hole on the other side of the head. So if that statement alone changed the dynamics in our case, we spent months in upper prison, but they eventually gave him because he had pushed back. He gave us a number of lectures about whom Seven was. So all that we are seeing, there were lectures from him that we eventually encouraged him to write that book. I was lucky that I got an opportunity to push it through my social media handles, and I think there was a post, one of the posts, which got about 4,500 shares when he spoke about the meeting in public service when members, the ministers and MPs were discouraging Dr. BSJ from contesting in the 2001 election again in 1967 because they thought he was running for the second and last term, as he had written in his manifesto. I want to tell them, you are joking. That guy is going nowhere. And they really saw that. He told us how Mr. Museveni deploys leaders. He doesn't deploy them in offices to execute a given task. He deploys them to satisfy himself. Example, when he said about Dr. Specio's Kazar as being vice president, he said, no, she's not vice president. I gave her to hit 3 birds with 1 stone. The Basoga would be happy that one of them is the vice president. The women, the Matembe, would be happy that a woman is one. The council would be happy. So here for you, say vice president, and for him, he has other scores. He talked about the Karamajong, that is Prukol. Said, no, those guys who don't even dress, who's in there, they lead. He talked about Jeje Odong was army commander, that whose army does he lead? That I want the eaters, so when they see him in the lead cars and soldiers, they think that they're in charge. So we realize that Mr. Museveni doesn't mean well for this country. He's only here to stay for no serious reason. Kazora was able to do that, so that he never came out to speak out on the radios like a way we do on TVs. So he actually spoke through us. He'd give you a brief, you go to radio, he train you this, say this is how you behave. And we enjoyed Kazora. Kazora was one of the best MPs we had. Mr. Museveni made sure that since 2006, he doesn't become MP. He won and he would be rigid. He won and he would be rigid. Him, Jack Sabiti, Salam Musumba, Ruzindana, Dr. Nawiso, Patrick Mwanda, the Benny Watchers, it was that group that made sure never come back to Parliament. So they left Parliament with the cream of this country. You even think that there are no bright people in this country. That's why you would see, even after there's so many years out of Parliament, he would make that cathedral full. Even a current MP may not, if you're not some level of caliber, but we would see the who is who in that, demand that a giant is dead. That was Kazora. Very brilliant, very intelligent, very articulate, very patriotic, very nationalistic.
As we conclude, you said from 2006, President Museveni never wanted Kazora to be MD anymore.
Yes.
And at his funeral at Nakasero, we saw government representatives come to his funeral. Do you, and
there was no government rep, at least you're a journalist. Was there a person who spoke on behalf of government?
They did speak, but some
Yes.
of them were appointed
No.
in the ODS.
Yes, but they're not government rep.
Yeah.
What they call government rep, somebody stands, that I'm representing what? Government. They came in their individual capacities because of who Kazora was. Kazora touched very many people, as you heard. He was a very generous man. If you had something, you would share. Even, he was very arrogant, like Amanya Mushega. With the arrogance, you think they are bad guys, but eventually, you ask for money, he blasts you, but he's giving you the money. You poor person, but he's giving you the. So that is who they are. They are very humorous. You can't stop laughing if you sat with Major Kazor. He'll give you stories. If you saw I was seated with Amanya Mushega, but we are laughing for the church. He want to say this, one to say and you laugh, and people don't know why you are laughing. So that is the kind of person. They touched people. If you wanted something called good, Kazora was good, irrespective of where he is. There are people who we are. There are people you see, you find an person say, an objective person say, Semuju is a good MP. You've had people from across board say, I think the Lord Mayor must be our Lord Mayor. He has all us together. But the fanatics won't.
Lastly, the family said Kazora and Museveni had reconciled, but we didn't see it like coming out so clear that they are really reconciled.
That was wrong. Did you see Mr. Museveni's message? Anyway.
But the family mentioned.
No, but did you see Mr. Museveni's message? It wasn't there. You know when Mr. Museveni likes someone, you're a journalist, he sends a rep with a written what? Written message. So those things of implied. I think that message was made, they did not want the barrier of Kazora to be political. They were scared of the Tories. Yes, and how people thought about it. You'd hear in the church, whenever I talked about NRM, did you see any person clapping? That was all telling. So they are trying to, they did not want the politics that would come with it, going back down in what? Mr. Museveni, anybody goes to Ankoy to attack him. And because the way Kazar was treated is telling that for you dealing with Museveni at your own risk. You had the child, that our father was the youngest and oldest major. You think at the level where he was, he did not deserve to be promoted. The only rank he got was major. Why? Did you hear somebody called the chief mourner? Has always come? Nothing. Go you hear them, somebody chief mourner. Wapi? They only came, you would hear them send him abogo, not to be attacked. Congressman was for that. If they had reconciled, Mr. Museveni would even spare time to take him to Kororo. You know that is where he born is from. Or send his vice president. Say what? But he knew. He was only saved that he was married to a wife who was in NRM. Honorable now Makavasharia. And coming from Muntungam. So they wanted to create some kind of, to get some lifeline.
All right. This is our first episode with Honorable Kaija. I know the conversation can't end.
Yeah.
We shall get to another episode yet next week. We thank you so much for keeping it here at Mulengera News, and we advise always continue visiting our website for various stories on www.mulengeranews.com, on our various platforms like Twitter and others. Honorable Kaija, anyone last words for our viewers and followers?
I want to thank you for your time, those who have watched to the end. I know since it's the start, we shall keep making it good and better and best. Those who love this country, keep looking for information like this. We are not the Alpha and the Omega, the others. Look for information that adds to your knowledge. We have had enough of entertainment. I see you on TikTok. You laugh and laugh and laugh. But the things are tough. You don't need to laugh a lot. You've had enough laugh. Let's get serious. This country needs serious people to be able to fix it and bring it back to the right foot. For me, I'm working for a country that works for all of us, where my children will never be judged as children of Kaija, but will be looked at by the values they stand for, and their quality is what I keep working for. God bless you. God bless the people of Uganda. God bless the family of PFF. God bless my supporters and residents of Nansana municipality. Kwaheri.